Okay, we'll come to order at 5:02. Let's introduce ourselves.
Scott Morley, Select Board.
Dan Webster, Select Board.
Matt Maxwell, Town Administrator. Start with the back of you, Vicky.
Vicky Mead, resident.
John Buchanan, road crew, resident.
Carrie Keenan, resident.
Israel Silva Planning Commission.
Scott Pryor, resident. And we have Deb Tangway, Town Clerk, and Dave Barlow, Treasurer.
Thanks, Dave.
Any changes to the agenda tonight? Very good. Does the public have anything they'd like to comment on? All right, we'll get right into it then. Town newspaper of record. I was asked to look at the advertising rates for Caledonia and Newport Daily. For those are the daily papers in the area. Chronicle's a weekly, so I mean, we do advertise in that, but for the dailies, and it turns out that they're very similar. For a week at Newport Daily is $52, and a week at Caledonia is $40. But then when you get to 2 weeks, which is what we normally do, 2 weeks for Caledonia is $80, and 2 weeks for Newport's $82. So it's a $2 difference. So seeing how we advertise in all three anyway, whenever we post anything, I don't see any reason not to have Newport as the town paper record. If you guys want to make that.
That's sort of where I was at too, as long as the money wasn't, just crazy, but like you said, we're using them all anyway.
We use them all anyway, so
So
it's not like they're all our paper record.
Yeah.
But
Geographically speaking, Newport is sort of our closest issue, so. What say you?
Yeah,
What do you do? So you want a motion on that?
yeah,
Make a motion that the town of Coventry adjust its newspaper of record and adopt the Newport Daily Express.
second.
All in favor?
All right.
good. Okay, next up, we have the community center furnace upgrade and replacement. So this came from an article that was voted down at town meeting. But it was brought to the attention of the select board that the town would like you guys to look into replacing it. Just kind of, wanted you to come to a little bit more information, I think.
Whether or not you go to propane was. that
Yeah,
one
I mean,
issue?
we sort of just had an article giving an amount of money and without really anything to really back it up, so.
So went back to those conversations we were having in the winter and how we were gonna fund it, and there was discussion about we could fund it through special funds or look for other ways, and having that discussion, we decided, because it was how much? We were looking at 50,
56.
there was a number that was floating around that Deb had done a lot of work on that.
Yeah.
So
Deb's there, if you wanna ask her, she's got some stuff today.
we slowed that down, got it to the town. The town sort of said the same thing we were saying, which is not a bad idea, it's probably worthy, but put it back in front of us. That's what I heard him say. Put it back in front of us next year with real numbers and a real plan. So since then, Deb and Matt have both talked with Efficiency Vermont. Is that?
Yep.
And they're gonna come here anyway.
They've already been here.
They've already been here. They've already looked at,
They've been here and they've been to that garage and they've been to the Route 14 garage.
Yeah.
So they've looked at all of them, measured them and all that stuff, and
yeah.
saw what we have for lighting and current heating in those places.
So we have plenty of time on this.
Yep.
So why don't we just do what we should do and say, Matt, fix it.
Yep.
What is Efficiency Vermont trying to figure out, or just what is it?
They do an energy audit on each building, like they did one on this, and then the two town garages, and then we give them what we've been paying for electricity and heat for the last, 3 years or whatever. And then they come back and say, well, you know, we can save you this amount of money if you buy these lights or if you buy this, you know.
Yeah, it's not just furnace,
It's
it's
not just,
any
you know, it's
energy.
energy in the whole
Energy.
building, yeah. So, you know.
And they grant, there's
It's a
grants.
grants, yeah. They, you know, same thing, I don't know, they come to our farm every couple of years to try to get us to buy all new lights and stuff, it's the same thing, so.
Yeah.
So why don't you just keep working with them?
Yep.
I know Jim Cobb is a local resident, he's been interested in helping. I know he's talked with Deb, I know he's been around looking at the furnaces, and that sounds reasonable to me, if he wants to help run whatever.
Yep.
Run here, run there to get things going, but I would say that the town administrator, you put that on your to-do list.
Okay.
Without any serious timetable, but certainly probably within a few months.
Yep, Jim's a good resource, so I can.
Yeah, use whoever you want and figure it out, and yeah, he's expressed interest, so you can, if you want a runner, call him up.
Okay. All right, very good. Next up, we have the NEK Broadband Town Representative. Currently, we are represented by David Barlow as the primary, and I believe Phil Marquette as the alternate.
This is the.
And you should have a piece of paper in there that it doesn't have to be, I just want to show you what it looks like, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, how did we stumble onto that one? It came to us somehow.
It came to us because is Dave, is this a year thing you have to do yearly? We have to appoint a person yearly?
That's correct.
Yeah, so it's every year they come to us.
So
and
they
say-
reach out.
Yeah, they come and say, hey, it's time for your select board to make a decision and decide who you want to represent your town at these meetings, which what are they, quarterly, David, or twice a year, something like that?
It's every month.
Every
And
month, okay.
important to note, it's a separate organization from whatever. I mean, it's not the Coventry elected to participate, but it's its own, it doesn't require any money or anything like that. It's just a separate freestanding Northeast Kingdom Communications Union District. That's what an NEK code stands for.
So what do they do? I don't know anything about it.
They're bringing fiber optic internet service to underserved and unserved areas throughout the Northeast Kingdom. And they currently actually have a backbone that runs down Airport Road, but probably won't be in Coventry to service customers for another 1.5 to 2 years. But they are actively serving customers now in Essex County, which is very rural, and areas to the east of St. Johnsbury that are also very rural, and they're building out off of that. They'll be in areas of Derby, the more rural areas of Derby later this year, I think.
They're helping folks who don't have high-speed internet now, right, Dave?
They are. So,
I guess I've seen them out
Yeah.
there.
you know, example for you guys would be Webster Road is definitely an area that does not, I think this qualifies as underserved. There's some doesn't meet the requirement down there. Airport Road is similar.
Thanks.
But there's a lot of places in Coventry. Coventry actually is pretty well served especially on the north side towards Newport. So we're not super high on the priority list, but there's definitely areas in Coventry that definitely need it, and they'll be here to do it. It's just coming. The good news is that it's been really a good success. They've gotten tons of money, because it takes tons of money, and they've been quite successful at what they're doing. So, and the service itself is competitively priced and is very fast, and you can get really, really fast service if you really need it.
So we've got until a couple months, right?
Yep.
I thought we had a date on that.
Anybody? Dave still wanna be it?
So
Yeah.
Dave, you're
It's a
dirt
it is volunteer position, and I am volunteering. It's sort of right up my technical background from years gone by. So I'm happy to do it.
So are they looking for somebody who lives in the town and that you're not here now?
Yeah, that's true, but no, that doesn't seem to be a prerequisite.
Okay,
Plus, you've got Phil. Phil definitely still lives here.
okay. So let's table that one for now
Right.
and,
That's what I figured.
we've
And yeah,
got,
if somebody else would want to grab a hold, I'd be happy to spin them up and send them off.
okay,
But you know, I'm like I said, I'm happy to do it as well.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, David. Okay. Next up, we have the fiscal year 2023 audit. And more specifically, the road budget deficit. Dave, do you wanna explain why there's a deficit?
Yeah, most of it is from 2 years ago when we, prior to having audit results, used funds from thinking there was a surplus in the highway fund back in, I believe it was 2021. Had the town transfer 70K from the highway fund, 70,000 into the roads infrastructure fund, if I recall correctly. And it turns out following the audit that we shouldn't have done that. So that the fund was, it created a deficit in the highway fund. The rest of it, I think there's a little over 2,000. That's come as a result of more spending than revenue the past 2 years in the highway fund. Just a little bit. So that's the background on that. So it's primarily, it's not from spending. It's just a transfer that we shouldn't have done. This action would, in a sense, transfer it back. It would use a surplus in the general fund from fiscal year 23 to cover the sort of the longer term deficit in the highway fund.
I got most of that. And I did talk with the auditor, you talked with,
I talked with Rick, and he
Rick.
basically said the same thing that David just
it
said.
makes enough sense to me. It's an accounting issue more than anything, huh, Dave?
Right. It's not excessive spending.
So
Yeah.
basically, we just gotta, wouldn't they,
Putting money in the wrong bucket 2 years ago and fixing the problem.
Yeah. So, Matt has worked with, the auditors and with Dave here in the last week, and, so they're all, understanding of all of this 100%. I'd say I'm about 90. So this is what I'm gonna motion, which is what the auditors have requested that we do, and then they can take care of the accounting piece of that with David, and it's a done, complete issue. We don't have the mess going forward.
okay,
So unless there's anything else on that, I move to use $72,036 of the fiscal year 23 general fund surplus to reduce the fiscal year 23 highway fund deficit to 0.
second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Pretty good.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, Dave.
Any other business tonight? Okay, go on to the approval of the minutes from your March 18th meeting.
Have we heard anything else on the Route 14 bridge?
Yeah,
We have?
so I have one.
Nathan, did you go to a thing on Friday?
Yeah, it's the 6 hour shutdown. I close on that Friday at 6 p.m.
This Friday,
No, the 12th,
the 12th?
the 15th.
Then they're gonna have one lane open that Monday like 6 a.m. for traffic.
So they're
Isn't that
on,
what we went over?
so they're on target
Yeah,
for what,
Yeah.
everything that they
Yeah.
told us.
yeah, they had a meeting on Friday at the site, Nathan did, so yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
I'm good.
Good. Motion to accept the select board meeting minutes, town of Coventry of Monday, March 18, 2024, as presented.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Good. Got the warrants there in front of you?
Bought you dried out pens.
Got a cap on
Oh, daddy. So our email issues, those are all straightened out.
Yes.
You're the first working better?
We haven't got nothing else done as an ordered uniform, so. We'll find out then.
Okay.
it. You see the trucks around, and it's,
I just,
can't be the only ones.
They
having
just
trouble.
cruise through.
No.
Never quite seems to work perfect, does it? Okay, I make a motion to accept and approve the warrants as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
I do actually have one thing under other business. You guys' next select board meeting is scheduled for April 15th, which is a day before we vote for the other select board member. So I didn't know if you wanted to change that meeting date to maybe after that Tuesday, instead of meeting on Monday with the 2 week, and have a meeting in April with the full. Group, if you want.
On the Wednesday, you mean?
Yeah.
What are those dates again? Monday?
Monday's the 15th,
So-
that's when you're scheduled to meet.
Tuesday?
That'd be the
17th.
Yeah, and the 16th is when we're doing the vote on Tuesday morning for Scott and Carrie, so we could do April 17th.
I have no I don't have any reason not to, do you?
I'm
That
fine.
I can think of.
Okay.
So you're gonna warn that? Not tomorrow
No.
anyway, so just give me time to go
Yeah.
home and check
Oh, yeah.
and make sure. Okay.
Yep.
When's the solar thing?
Next Monday, a week from today.
So that's not, okay,
Yeah, that's not, you're the day after that.
perfect.
Are those postcards going out?
Yep, postcards will get mailed out tomorrow. So everybody should have them 2 weeks.
We have them here.
No, they're from Eagle.
They just send them out for us.
Yeah, I send them the same list that I send the people to mail out the books.
Okay,
For town report, so
Yeah.
we'll go to everybody on that.
so they're already built and they're just gonna send them tomorrow.
Yep.
Alright,
Okay, so I think we're ready for our executive session. How do you guys want to do that? Do you want both these gentlemen, or do you want one at a time?
what do you got here?
This is your motion. First, you gotta read the personnel part.
Just the bottom.
Yeah, not the legal part, just the bottom part. You give me that paper back. You're done.
So that's not perfect language.
The LCT.
Okay, we're not hiring one.
No, but you just say personnel. For personnel, you want to move into. To discuss the personnel, you didn't have to say hiring, but personnel issue.
Okay, I think I just assume keep just John.
First,
Yeah,
okay,
and see what happens there.
so when you make your motion and then say what people you'd like to include in that,
So
and then Nathan will step out first.
I move that we go into executive session to discuss personnel issue of an employee under the provisions of Title I, Section 313A3 of the Vermont statutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Included in this executive session will be select board, town administrator, and the employee, John Buchanan.
Okay, we're back in open session at 5:51 PM.
We're going to continue our conversation. John Buchanan has left the room. We're gonna continue our conversation with the road foreman, Nathan Standish.
Come on up, Nathan. Sorry to keep you waiting.
No, it's out of the bar. We wanted to get you before you got to the bar.
All right, let's do this again.
So we're on recording. I move that we go into executive session to discuss a personnel issue under the provisions of Title I, Section 313A3 of the Vermont statutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we'll be going into executive session at 5:52 PM. Okay, we're back in open session at 6:27 PM.
Okay, we've worked through the personnel issues, our decision. Is this a motion decision? The decision of the board, correct?
That's right.
Dan, is to place the highway worker, John Buchanan, on paid leave pending the outcome of the next board meeting, which is going to be a specially held meeting this Wednesday. So beginning tomorrow morning, John's left the building tonight. We will meet. I'll come to town and meet with Nathan, the foreman, and the town administrator, and John, and he'll be placed on leave with pay, suspension with pay until at least the scheduling of the next meeting, which is scheduled for Wednesday.
Very good. Okay, we can adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned at 6:29 PM.